At least 2 children were killed and another was injured after a boundary wall of Kathia Baba temple collapsed in Bihar's Roopganj. The wall fell on the children when 3 children who were bathing in floodwaters near the temple. Several districts in Bihar are witnessing floods that are mainly attributed to the rising water levels in the upstream Ganga and its tributary. The Uttar Pradesh government has suspended 7 Noida authority officials from various industrial development authorities for failing to comply with transfer orders issued over a year ago. The transfer orders were issued on 30th June of the previous year. A deputy superintendent of Punjab Police who was earlier with the Anti-Narcotics Task Force has been booked for accepting a bribe of 45 lakhs while he was the investigating officer in a farmer drug case. The DSP Bhavindra Singh allegedly accepted the bribe from Aster Pharma to protect them from the legal consequences in a Narcotics, Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act case. Zee Entertainment Enterprises Limited rejected a $940 million claim filed by the Disney-owned Star India regarding the termination of a cricket broadcasting agreement. The company said in an exchange filing on Wednesday that the claim was submitted to the London Court of International Arbitration with Star India seeking damages for Zee's exit from a lucrative broadcasting deal. The Supreme Court's YouTube channel was hacked and showed videos promoting a cryptocurrency developed by the US-based company Ripple Labs. The top court has been using the video streaming platform to stream hearings of cases listed before the Constitutional Bench and matters involving public interest. Prime Minister Modi is set to begin his 3-day visit to the United States starting tomorrow. The trip will see Prime Minister Modi engage in high-level meetings with world leaders, attend the annual Quad Summit and participate in discussions at the United Nations. Key issues on the agenda include regional stability in the Indo-Pacific, the ongoing conflicts in Ukraine and Gaza, and concerns of the Global South. Israeli warplanes dropped flares over the Beirut sky shortly before breaking the sound barrier. At the same time, Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah was delivering a televised speech from an undisclosed location. Now, the planes flew low over Beirut, seeking the sound barrier with 2 loud booms, scattered birds and prompted people in homes and offices to quickly open windows to prevent them from shattering. An Israeli government spokesperson said that the government will use all means necessary to restore security in the country's north. David Munzner told journalists that the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, has said that the change in the balance of forces on our northern border is needed and necessary, so Israel will do whatever is necessary to learn our residents secure to our homes. Iran's president said that Israel was destroying Muslims due to the lack of solidarity across the Muslim world. He made the comments during the International Islamic Unit conference in Tehran. Iran is a key supporter of anti-Israeli militant groups, mainly Hamas and Hezbollah. Lebanon's caretaker health minister, Firas Abiad, said that at least 25 people were killed and more than 600 were wounded during a second day of attacks on Wednesday involving detonating devices that were blamed on Israel. Dozens of people attended the funeral of Hezbollah fighters Fadel Abbas Bazi and Ahmad Ali Hassan, who were killed in recent days in Lebanon. The funeral came as Hezbollah fired a new barrage into northern Israel, continuing its drumbeat of exchanges with the Israeli military as fears of a greater war rise. Hundreds of electronic devices used by Hezbollah exploded in Lebanon earlier this week. Italy's foreign minister said Italy keeps working for a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas and added that he was concerned about an escalation in the war which would involve Lebanon. Antonio Tajani spoke as Israel and Hezbollah exchanged strikes along the border and after leader Hassan Nasrallah vowed retaliation for attacks on the group's devices. Bulgarian authorities have rejected claims that exploding devices have been shipped through the territory of the Balkan country. It came in response to media publication alleging that a company registered in Bulgaria has supplied the Lebanese organization Hezbollah with exploding devices which were blown up on the territory of Lebanon and Syria. Russian President Putin visited a drone plane in St. Petersburg, where he inspected equipment and chaired a meeting on military production. Russia plans to increase its production of unmanned vehicles almost 10 times in 2024 and expand its range of combat technology, Putin said, speaking at the meeting. The Coast Guards from China and Russia conducted joint drills in the waters near the Peter and Great Gulf of Russia to test their capability in the coping with maritime security risk. The drills, not targeting any third party, centered on addressing security threats during maritime law enforcement and improving search and rescue capabilities. China's foreign ministry expressed its condolences following the death of a 10-year-old Japanese student who was attacked in southern China. The student was stabbed by a man about 200 meters from the gate of the Shenzhen Japanese school, Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson Lin Jian said. Receding waters revealed the scale of the destruction caused by exceptionally heavy rains in Central Europe that began a week ago and have already claimed at least 24 lives. The massive flood wave moving across Central Europe threatened new areas on Thursday, raising concern among residents and officials and prompting Europe Union Chief Ursula von der Leyen to plan a visit to the region. In Italy, about 1,000 residents were evacuated in the northern region of Emilia-Romagna after it was hit by the torrential rains and severe flooding overnight. Rivers flooded in 3 of the region's provinces, Ravenna, Bologna and Faenza, as local mayors asked people to stay on the upper floors or leave their houses. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen hosted a working lunch for leaders of the Western Balkan countries to discuss growth plans and reform agendas. In May this year, EU countries approved a plan worth 6 billion euros to support Western Balkan states aimed at accelerating reforms and economic growth in the region as they seek future membership in the bloc. China launched 2 new satellites for the BeiDou-3 navigation satellite system from the Zhejiang Satellite Launch Center in southwest China's Sichuan province. The 2 satellites, the 59th and 68th satellite of the BeiDou family, were launched at 9:14 a.m. according to Beijing time by a Long March 3B carrier rocket and the Yuanzheng 1 upper stage attached to the carrier rocket. Yukodo carried out a scheduled power rationing of 2 to 4 hours between Wednesday night and early Thursday to perform maintenance work and alleviate its strained power generation system. On Wednesday night at 10 in the capital Quito, some emblematic monuments such as the Basilica del Voto Nacional were left in darkness. Prince William met people helped by housing and homelessness charity Shelter Scotland during a visit to the charity's Aberdeen office. William met staff at the charity to learn more about the support they offer and viewed portraits by photographer Margaret Mitchell exploring the impact of losing a home. A United States Coast Guard hearing into the catastrophic implosion of a tourist sub en route to the Titanic wreck has released underwater footage of the stricken experimental vessel. The Titan submersible lost contact with crew on support shop Polar Prince on 18th June 2023. A renowned portrait of Winston Churchill that was reported stolen from the Ottawa hotel has been handed over to the legitimate owner during a ceremony at the Canadian Embassy in Rome. The 1941 portrait of the British leader was taken by Ottawa photographer Yusuf Karsh, who gifted the image to the Fairmont Chateau L'Oreal Hotel, where he lived his last years. Shifting our focus to the world of sports, Ravichandran Ashwin has achieved the rare feat of being only the second player ever to score 1,000 runs and claim 100 wickets in the World Test Championship. With this, Ashwin joins Ravindra Jadeja, who became the first player in the world to achieve the feat earlier this year. Opener Travis Head smashed a career-best score of 154 runs to help Australia chase down a big total of 316 in the first ODI against England. The victory gives Aussies a 1-0 lead in the 5-match ODI series against the Three Lions. And the Sharjah Cricket Stadium in the UAE has become the first ever venue in cricket history to host 250 ODI matches. The stadium is well renowned among cricket fans across the globe for hosting exciting and high-scoring matches over the years. In football now, a 10-man Barcelona side suffered a 2-1 defeat against Monaco. After an electrifying start, Barca went 1-0 down in the 14th minute after Eric Garcia saw a red card. Barca did draw level before half-time, only for the French side to score the winner in the 71st minute. Meanwhile, Atletico Madrid won a thriller at home against RB Leipzig, where the visitors went 1-0 down in the 4th minute, but Atletico drew level just before the half-an-hour mark. Both sides came close to taking the lead in the second half by several times, but it was Jose Jimenez's 90th minute header that won it for Atletico in the end. Meanwhile, Arsenal and Atlanta shared the spoils of a goalless draw in Italy. While Atlanta enjoyed the majority of possession, Arsenal defence held strong until full-time to fend off the Italian side from having a clear shot at goal. Actor Sofia Loren celebrated her 90th birthday. The Italian actor was the first person to win an Oscar in a foreign language role and who embodied for the many the epitome of Mediterranean beauty and passion, even though she lived much of her adult life abroad and her country jailed her briefly for tax evasion. The Indian version of The Night Manager, starring Anil Kapoor, Aditya Roy Kapoor and Shobita Dhulipala, has received a nomination in the drama series category at the 2024 International Emmy Awards. The Night Manager was the only entry from India across 14 categories at the nominations. Director Siva Surya's Bobby Deol and Disha Patni starrer Kanguva has a new release date. The fantasy action film, which was supposed to be released on 10th October, will now be released in theatres on 14th November. The release date of the Sabarmati Report, starring Vikrant Macy, Rashi Khanna and Riddhi Dogra, has been announced. After postponing the previous release dates, the film will now hit the theatres on 15th November 2024.
साबरमती हादसे में जो 59 लोग जल के मर गए थे, उनके बारे में बात करने आए हैं।
such a massive accident.
एक्सीडेंट? मुझे लगता है आग लगी नहीं,
लगाई गई है.